In the heart of the United States lies a singular territory, Yellowstone, the world's first national park. Here, mountains, wild rivers, dense forests, and vast plains create a landscape shaped by the planet's most powerful forces. Beneath the surface, a dormant supervolcano continues to transform the region. But it's not only the scenery that captivates. Yellowstone is one of North America's last refuges, where large predators and herbivores still coexist. Sustaining a vital balance for all life around them. The seasons command the cycle of survival. Relentless winters test every species' endurance, while short summers bring a burst of opportunity before the next trial returns. Wolves, bears, moose, and raptors wage daily battles in a place where the ultimate law is to endure. Established in 1872, Yellowstone National Park spans nearly 9,000 square kilometers across Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. It sits atop a volcanic plateau more than 2,400 meters above sea level, encircled by mountain ranges that surpass 3,400 meters. The park contains about half of the planet's geothermal features, geysers, fumaroles, and hot springs in constant activity. The landscape includes deep canyons, sweeping pine forests, fast-moving rivers, and Yellowstone Lake, one of the largest high mountain lakes in North America. Yellowstone is the core of the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem, one of the largest continuous temperate ecosystems on Earth. Here live great herds of American bison, elk, and deer, along with predators like the gray wolf and the grizzly bear. Conditions are harsh. Winters are long. Snow blankets the land for months, and temperatures can plunge below -20 degrees Celsius. Summer is tough too, with more frequent droughts and increasingly intense wildfires. With climate change, snow melts earlier, rivers warm, and survival grows harder for many species. On the steep slopes, where wind bites the skin and snow lingers even into late spring, one species stands out for its remarkable adaptation to life at extreme heights. This is where we find the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, a symbol of resilience and balance in this ecosystem. With curved horns that can weigh up to 14 kilograms each, the bighorn sheep is one of Yellowstone's most iconic figures. Adult males, called rams, can weigh up to 140 kilograms and live as long as 15 years. Females, known as ewes, are smaller and more agile, playing a crucial role in flock cohesion. These animals inhabit rocky, precipitous terrain where predators struggle to reach them. Their feet have cloven, grippy hooves that work like natural clamps, keeping them secure even on the narrowest ledges. This anatomical design lets them quickly escape wolves or cougars by retreating to sheer cliffs. Their diet consists mainly of grasses, herbs, and shrubs sprouting on the slopes. In winter, when snow covers the vegetation, they scrape at the frozen ground for food, spending much of the energy stored during summer. That survival strategy is critical where temperatures can drop below -20 degrees Celsius. Social behavior is marked by separation of the sexes for most of the year. Females and lambs form small groups, while adult males stay in separate bands. Only during the November-December rut do they come together. That's when the famous clashes erupt. Rams slam horns with impact forces comparable to a ton, competing for breeding rights. Despite the violence, their skeletal structures are adapted to absorb shocks without brain injury. Ecologically, bighorns help maintain alpine vegetation balance. By grazing selectively, they control grasses and herbs, allowing other plant species to thrive. They are also prey for predators such as wolves and eagles when lambs or weakened adults are targeted. Threats include respiratory diseases, often transmitted by domestic sheep near the park's borders, and climate change. Shorter winters and drier summers alter forage availability, forcing longer movements and raising predation risk. Even so, Yellowstone's bighorn population remains stable thanks to conservation efforts begun in the 20th century after the species was nearly hunted to extinction. Today, they represent one of North America's greatest wildlife recovery stories. While bighorns command the cliffs, another giant rules the open grasslands of Hayden Valley. The American bison is a true icon of Yellowstone's wildlife. The largest land mammal in North America. Adult bulls can exceed 900 kilograms and reach 3.5 meters in length, standing up to 1.8 meters at the shoulder. Their robust silhouette is defined by the muscular shoulder hump, an adaptation that powers the massive head used to sweep snow aside in winter. Their coat is thick, forming a dense mane that shields them from cutting winds and sub-zero temperatures. Yellowstone's plains and valleys are this giant's primary habitat, especially in places like Hayden Valley and Lamar Valley, where grass is abundant. In summer, they graze on fresh pastures. In winter, they use their skulls like natural shovels, clearing snow to reach hidden chutes. This adaptability ensures survival through the harshest periods. Social behavior is complex. Bison live in large herds that can number in the hundreds. Adult females and their calves form the core, while young males roam in smaller bachelor groups. During the July to September rut, bulls compete for access to females. Fights involve shoving and headbutting, often spectacular, rarely fatal. Beyond reproduction, the bison's life cycle is tightly linked to the ecosystem. Heavy grazing stimulates grass renewal, encouraging new growth. Constant herd movement compacts and churns the soil, aiding seed germination. Their bodies, when they die, provide essential nutrients to carnivores, scavenging birds, and decomposing insects. Natural threats include predators like wolves and grizzly bears, which typically target calves or weakened individuals. Historically, however, the greatest threat was human. In the 19th century, rampant hunting reduced an estimated 30 million animals to fewer than 1,000. Only the creation of protected areas, including Yellowstone, allowed the species to recover. Today, about 5,000 bison live in the park, forming the largest herd in the United States, free of cattle gene introgression. Despite conservation successes, challenges persist. Disease risks such as brucellosis from nearby grazing lands and climate-driven changes to snow and forage that force longer movements. In addition, climate change alters snow patterns and affects forage availability, forcing longer movements in search of food. Even under these pressures, the bison remains Yellowstone's most recognized symbol. Not only for its imposing presence, but for its essential role in sustaining the park's grasslands. Season after season, the herds traverse valleys and meadows, setting the natural rhythm of the landscape. And while they shape the open plains with their massive presence, another giant emerges along forested riverbanks and in the dense woods surrounding the valleys. The grizzly bear, an opportunistic predator that dominates multiple Yellowstone territories. One of North America's most iconic carnivores. Adult males can stand over 2.4 meters tall when upright and weigh more than 300 kilograms, while females generally stay under 200 kilograms. Their coats range from dark brown to pale gold, and the distinctive shoulder hump, powerful muscle, is essential for digging and ripping apart logs in search of food. Versatile and opportunistic, grizzlies are omnivores. Their diet includes roots, berries, insects, carrion, and even ungulate young such as bison and elk calves. In summer, they capitalize on trout runs in icy rivers, building the fat needed to face winter. This strategy is vital for hibernation, during which they can lose up to 40% of their body weight. They are most often found along forested stretches of the Yellowstone River, in Lamar Valley, and in alpine zones during the warm season. This variety of habitats provides resources year-round and reduces competition with other species. Even so, confrontations with wolves over carcasses are frequent, rarely fatal, but a reminder of the delicate balance among predators. Behaviorally, grizzlies are generally solitary. Adult males defend large home ranges that can exceed 2,000 square kilometers. Mating occurs from May to July, but delayed implantation means actual development begins in autumn. In this way, a female becomes pregnant only if she has stored enough reserves to support hibernation and raise cubs. Each litter typically includes 1 to 3 cubs, which remain with the mother for up to 3 years. The grizzly endures as a paramount symbol of wild nature, a survivor of centuries of persecution that still reigns across Yellowstone's landscapes. And as this giant patrols rivers and clearings in search of food, a piercing howl echoes across the same forests and valleys. The presence of the grey wolf, a social hunter that reshaped the ecosystem's balance. It is one of Yellowstone's most emblematic and most studied predators. Adult males can weigh up to 60 kilograms and reach 1.5 meters in length, not counting the thick tail that aids balance during a sprint. Their coats range from silvery grey to black, providing effective camouflage in snow and dense woods. Wolves live in structured packs, usually with 7 to 10 individuals, though Yellowstone has recorded packs of over 20. The hierarchy is clear. An alpha pair leads, followed by betas and subordinates. This organization is essential for cooperative hunting and pup protection. Group hunting is the wolf's greatest advantage. When pursuing large prey like bison, deer, and especially elk, they use chase tactics that exploit a victim's fatigue. Only about 1 in 10 attacks succeeds. But persistence and collaboration feed the entire pack. They can reach speeds of 60 kilometers per hour over short distances, backed by remarkable endurance. The wolf's return to Yellowstone is historic. After being locally eradicated in 1926 through systematic hunting, wolves were reintroduced in 1995 with the release of 14 animals from Canada. Since then, the population has expanded to around 500 individuals across the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. The impact was immediate. Predation pressure on elk reduced overbrowsing in valleys and along riverbanks, which in turn drew in beavers, birds, and many other species, a classic trophic cascade. Today, the wolf's howl once again echoes through Lamar and Hayden valleys, a reminder that wild nature can recover when human effort is coordinated. The pack, through discipline and strategy, embodies the power of cooperation in hostile environments. And while wolves range across the plains in search of large herbivores, another frequent target of their hunts moves between forests and open meadows. The moose, an imposing herbivore that shapes Yellowstone's vegetation. It is the largest member of the deer family and one of the most important prey species for Yellowstone's top predators. Adult males can reach 2.3 meters at the shoulder, weigh more than 600 kilograms, and carry massive antlers spanning up to 1.8 meters. Shed and regrown each year, these antlers are used in contests during the rut and are among the species' most striking traits. Moose prefer wetlands, river margins, and damp forests, where they find willows and aspens, the foundation of their diet. In winter, they migrate to lower elevations seeking food, covering long distances through deep snow. Their long, powerful legs act like natural snowshoes, letting them cross difficult terrain and evade predators. Their feeding is selective and seasonal. In summer, they consume aquatic plants and low vegetation, storing reserves for the cold months. In winter, they survive largely on woody twigs, a high-effort diet. This seasonal pattern helps shape riverside vegetation, directly influencing plant regeneration along stream banks. Social behavior varies. Females with calves form small groups, while males are more solitary, gathering mainly during the breeding season known as the rut. From September to October, males compete fiercely. Antler clashes can decide reproductive success, but also risk serious injury. Moose play a crucial ecological role. As large browsers, they directly influence the composition and structure of riparian forests. By consuming willows and aspens in great quantities, they regulate plant density, affecting birds, amphibians, and even local hydrology. When wolves were eradicated in 1926, elk populations exploded and vast areas of vegetation were degraded. The wolf reintroduction in 1995 restored part of that balance, easing pressure on plants and allowing many organisms to return. Threats include attacks by wolves and grizzlies, especially on calves, as well as climate change, which affects snow cover duration and food availability. Milder winters alter migration patterns, potentially disrupting food webs. Even so, Yellowstone today supports thousands of moose, still a keystone of the ecosystem's function. A symbol of strength and resilience, the moose represents the connection between predators and vegetation, regulating processes that sustain many forms of life. And while these giants roam valleys and forests in search of food, another guardian keeps watch from above. The bald eagle, a raptor that rules Yellowstone's skies. The national emblem of the United States and one of Yellowstone's most imposing birds of prey. It can reach a 2.3-meter wingspan and weigh between 3 and 6 kilograms. It's instantly recognizable by its striking plumage, dark brown body with white head and tail. Its strongly hooked, bright yellow beak is adapted to tear flesh and seize prey with precision. Living near lakes and rivers, the bald eagle depends heavily on aquatic environments. Yellowstone Lake, spanning 354 square kilometers, is one of the species' most important sites, offering abundant trout and other fish. This fish-based diet is supplemented with waterfowl, small mammals, and carrion from large animals, especially in winter when ice limits access to live fish. Its breeding behavior is remarkable. Pairs form long-lasting bonds and return to the same territories year after year. Nests built in tall waterside trees can exceed 2 meters across and weigh more than 500 kilograms, reused and enlarged each season. Between April and May, they typically lay 1 to 3 eggs, and both parents share incubation and chick rearing duties. The bald eagle's ecological role goes beyond apex predation. As an occasional scavenger, it helps clean the environment by consuming remains left by wolves and bears. At the same time, it regulates fish and waterfowl populations, balancing aquatic and terrestrial food webs. Historically, the species neared extinction. In the 20th century, hunting, habitat loss, and the pesticide DDT devastated its numbers. By 1963, only 417 breeding pairs were known across the United States. Thanks to conservation measures, including the DDT ban and legal protections, today there are more than 300,000 individuals nationwide. In Yellowstone, the species is stable, with dozens of pairs around the lake and major rivers. Climate change, however, presents new challenges. Reduced lake ice and shifting fish reproduction cycles can compromise food availability. Even so, the bald eagle shows great adaptability, changing hunting strategies and moving across habitats with the seasons. Majestic in flight with broad wings and steady beats, the bald eagle is a constant presence above the park's waters and forests. Along those same riverbanks where the eagle soars, something else unfolds. Another resident appears quietly, but wields surprising power. Not a swift predator or imposing bird, but a born engineer. The North American beaver, tireless architect of rivers and lakes, raising dams and carving channels that reshape entire landscapes. One of nature's greatest engineers, the beaver can measure up to 1.2 meters and weigh more than 25 kilograms. It has a robust body, powerful orange incisors, and a flattened paddle-shaped tail used for swimming, support on land, and fat storage. Its preferred habitat includes streamside zones with willows, aspens, and cottonwoods, trees that provide both food and building material. With ever-growing teeth, beavers can fell whole trunks to build dams and lodges, safe shelters from predators that also create aquatic habitats vital for many species. The ecological impact is profound. By altering river flow, beavers form ponds that reduce erosion, store water, and benefit birds, amphibians, fish, and countless insects. In regions like Yellowstone, these wetlands help regulate the water cycle in the face of climate change. Social life centers on family groups. A monogamous pair stays with its young for up to 2 years. Together, they gather food and maintain the lodge, boosting survival against coyotes, otters, and bears. Their diet includes bark and leaves, as well as aquatic plants and roots. To withstand severe winters, they cache submerged branches near lodge entrances, ensuring food even beneath the ice. Although essential to ecosystem balance, beavers were once intensely trapped for fur and for secretions used in perfumery, nearly driving them to extinction in North America. Today, thanks to legal protection and habitat recovery, their populations have stabilized, and they once again fully play their role as architects of biodiversity. And as this mini-engineer shapes rivers and lakes, our story nears its end, revealing how all these species, from the largest predators to the smallest rodents, are interlinked in a fragile balance that defines the park's essence. Yellowstone is a living ecosystem where every species, from the imposing American bison to the unobtrusive beaver, plays a vital role. Bighorns shape the slopes, moose mold the forests, wolves and bears regulate populations, while birds connect sky, land, and water. Together, these forms of life sustain the balance that defines the park. That balance, however, is fragile. Climate change, disease, and human pressures threaten habitats and natural cycles. Even so, Yellowstone stands as an example of recovery. The reintroduction of wolves and the protection of grizzlies proved that conservation can restore wildlife. If this journey moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next stories of nature in its purest form. See you next time.